no. A very good afternoon to our viewers. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of Point Sports Extra. My name is Shegun Odunari. I have my co-anchor, co-analyst, and co-driver with me here, Abiodun Adewale. And together, we'll be taking you guys on a beautiful journey in the world of sports. We'll be telling you about latest updates and issues that are happening in the world of sports. Abiodun, very good afternoon to you.
Of course, good afternoon to you, and of course to you as well. It's always good to be back on the show.
Like I always say, we are here because you are there. Like it's our custom, we'll be looking at the front page of our newspaper, your darling newspaper, Punch Sports Extra. And it's boldly written on the front page this morning, leave Osimhen alone. Sports Minister says to NFF. I thought it is against FIFA rules for the government to interfere in sports issues. That is number one.
Well, issues in quotes, because this particularly has nothing to do with funding directly. It doesn't have anything to do with funding. It doesn't have anything to do with are you attending these tournaments or you are not. It doesn't make a significant decision in what a football federation will do with FIFA. Significant
is the underword.
Is the underword.
Because it's a decision. Leave Osimhen alone when certain persons feel it should be scolded at the very least.
Well, it's not the least problem of FIFA is which player is coming from which national team to come and play which tournament. So if anybody is waiting for any kind of punishment for Victor Osimhen or something, and if the sports minister is coming out to caution the NFF or is revealing what he has told the NFF about addressing the issue, it is not a significant way of interfering into. It is just a way of resolving internal issues which is affecting the national team. It is just the minister doing some form of oversight function with the NFF and the players' issue. So I believe there will be more to it beyond the sports minister. There will be other interferences, other people trying to insert.
Many things will have been happening behind closed doors.
But what he basically did with that was just to caution the NFF on how to trash the issue. First of all, engage the player before you trash. And more importantly, he noted it that the Osimhen Finidi drama is the least of problems that the NFF will have to be worried about, because generally, especially in terms of the men's national football team, these are bad times for the country.
Bad times.
They've played 4 World Cup qualifying games and there is no victory.
They couldn't win one.
so face many other issues as getting a new coach, then try to resolve that one internally. Okay,
but what do you think? If you had to say, what do you think should happen in this case, or what should be the final decision?
I think it has taken too long somehow, because this issue happened like 3 weeks ago.
Almost a month now.
It's been almost a month, and it's not like the players are abroad busy with their clubs or anything. It was during the international break. I'm very sure there could have been interfaces, there should have been this. So we shouldn't get to know what the decision will be until the next FIFA international break, when players will be invited into the national team. And that looks like the format to me now, because if any punishment will be meted out, if anybody will tell anybody to go and make any public apology, if nothing happens, I bet the way we will find out eventually is the next invitation that will be extended to players. We might not just see Victor Osimhen's name there. That might be the way we will find out that maybe they are punishing this guy. So, but then I think it's taking too long for NFF to come out with a statement. The only thing they were quick to react to was not banning him from the national team when there were rumors that last week that he has been banned from the team.
And they said no.
They were very quick to react to that, but they've been very slow. They've not been proactive in reacting to.
Are they scared, or you think they are just looking at the fact that last night we had a Nigerian as African Footballer of the Year, 1999. This is like one of our shining lights. Why not just manage his bad, in quotes, bad behavior, like the Rooney's of the world were managed, the Beckhams of the world were managed, the Balotellis of this world. Don't you think that's what's happening?
I just hope that behind the scene they've been really able to manage it. I hope that they've been really able to call the player one-on-one, sit him down. Okay, not the coach. Maybe not at the same time. Sit down with the coach, sit down with the player at different times too, and trying to settle the rift in between. I hope they've been able to do that. But since we have not heard anything, I can't even give them the benefit of the doubt that anything has been done. But then it's a football federation, and I guess just like Eno said, there are many other things that the NFF had to deal with. One of it was organizing the final of the President Federation Cup last week. There are many other issues. They are busy with different agents, and different managers are disturbing them with phone calls about one international coach that is coming from somewhere. But treating
at some point,
so, and all of that. So treating Osimhen's case, because of the kind of pedigree that he has, I think it should be something they should have prioritized to, and I think Nigerians should have been in the know about what has been done. We shouldn't get to know by the time they will be inviting players for another international game.
Lastly, on this subject matter, are we sure we are not encouraging bad behavior?
Apparently, that is what we are doing. You know, you don't know what these guys are even telling one another. And you know, from the pictures we even see, a few days after the outburst and everything, these boys were
together.
They were together,
chilling.
This thing, you can imagine some kind of conversation that will have gone on.
No man, that guy.
And you will have some people that will say, guy, what do you do, coach? No good.
You the torment me.
So banters and all of that. But the code, the silence of the NFF only does nothing but encourage that kind of behavior until they come out with a big stick. And some funny thing is it's not only in football. You know, in athletics, a few days ago, we had guys converge on Benin City for the national athletics trial. Some of them came; they did not even compete in the national trials, but they were inside the stadium, and they wanted to go to the African Athletics Championships again. They said, "Okay, fine." The organization was poor. They classed themselves as A-list athletes and refused to compete there. But the Athletics Federation of Nigeria cannot even come out with the stick to punish these guys, because some of them, when they boarded night bus from Lagos to Benin Republic to go and board Cameroon here, some of them flew with their own money from Nigeria to Cameroon for the African Championship. So how do you punish?
Wow. Wait. So you mean it was Lagos by bus to Benin Republic,
then from Benin Republic by air to Cameroon. But some of these guys felt, I can't go through that hassle. If I have my money, I'll buy my flight ticket and all of that. But I understand there was no flight, there was no Cameroon air flight from Nigeria to Cameroon, so that was why they had to go through that. But if you subject athletes to that kind of thing, how do you punish them? When they don't
they become the big boys in the room.
I think it's just sport administration, especially the big sports per se this time. So NFF, there is nothing they are doing now but to encourage such behavior until they come out with the same energy that they used to debunk the rumor that it was not banned.
All right, we've used about 2, 3, 4 minutes on the Osimhen issue, but we had to. It was a very big matter when it happened, and it has refused to go away, like Biodun said. It has refused to go away, still hanging in there. And finally, the minister has come out to say, "Hey, NFF, please leave Osimhen alone." And like Biodun said some minutes ago, there are more important issues. We are on the verge of not qualifying for a back-to-back World Cup, and we need all the points we can get. We need all the energy in the same room, positive energy in the same room that we can get, and ensure that going forward, even though the time before we play the next game, the next World Cup qualifier is a long while away, but we need all the energy, positive energy in the same room, working towards the same goal. Still on their lines, man in form, despite the fact that we're not in season. Ademola Lookman, named Atalanta Player of the Season. Everybody wants him right now. Reports savvy that Manchester United want to buy Ademola Lookman. There's also reports of Liverpool wanting Ademola Lookman.
Bayern Munich.
There's Bayern Munich trying to get Ademola Lookman. And there's Saudi Arabia with big money, Al Ittihad. I mean, Qatar, the Qataris, the Saudi Arabians, they've already gotten Nacho, they've already gotten Joselu, and they are still out for more big boys. But Ademola Lookman, young man, potential African Footballer of the Year, shouldn't be going to.
It shouldn't even be getting on the plane to anywhere near the Middle East to
except
play football.
Except it is a FIFA international
for sightseeing and holiday and all of that. And interestingly, they are offering him 11 million a year, and that will make him the highest paid Nigerian player. I will have to check other African players that are okay. Mohamed Salah is far above that region. So, but you will be earning, if you take that deal, you will be earning more than Victor Osimhen, who currently earns 10 million euros in a year
in Napoli
with his current contract at Napoli. And we forgot to mention about it. Even as regards the NFL issue, I mean, the transfer news relating to Victor Osimhen seems to be overshadowing.
We are looking at the national team. We are even looking at the front.
So, but for Ademola Lookman, you know, man of the moment, man in form and all of that, the money will keep coming, the deals will keep coming, but I hope the endorsements are coming as much as
he had a good 90 minutes. I'm not saying he's not a brilliant player, but he had the most important 90 minutes of his life.
And he took it.
And look at what is happening.
And, you know, if he was not a good player before, you know, all those wouldn't have even mattered. But I'm very sure clubs would have taken a look at his track record in the last 2 seasons at Atalanta, and he would have seen how important he is. Back-to-back player of the season for Atalanta. It means a lot as well. So it shows how important he is to the club. And, you know, for all the transfer speculations around him, I think it's more beautiful for him to stay at Atalanta. They're going into the Champions League next season.
You don't think they're going to have a bad next season? Will they still be at this level?
The only thing that I do not see is they don't look like a team that will get into the quarterfinals or semi-finals of the Champions League. So except he's getting an assurance of going straight into the first team at Bayern Munich or a team like Liverpool, they are also going to play in the Champions League, and there is more potential of
that will be starting,
reaching the peak and starting there. So why not make that move, especially for a team like Liverpool that is even looking to offload a certain Luis Diaz on that left hand side. So it means there might be an opening
opportunity
there. For Bayern Munich, still probably in doubt. You don't know who they are playing on the left. You don't know who they are playing on the right. But for all the transfer speculations, you should just soak it in and just make the best decisions. You know, the money and all of that. He's played in England before. So
didn't really cut it.
Didn't really cut it. So
Fulham and so on.
Everton and Leicester City.
Yeah, Everton, Leicester. All right. Still talking about our Punch Sports Extra front page this morning. Still talking about transfers. Florian Wirtz, a man that unfortunately couldn't make it into the starting 11 of his national team manager in the last game because fantastic explanation from the man. He said he needed somebody who was fluid because of the defense of their opponents. Those guys were tall. Those guys had organization. So he needed a natural, you know, somebody who can cut in, cut out, and dazzle. Unlike Florian Wirtz, who would like to hold the ball, draw defenders towards him and all that. But away from that, because we'll be coming back to the Euros, Florian Wirtz is wanted by Bayern Munich and is wanted by Real Madrid. Just 21 years of age.
You know, even with Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, and all of that, there seems to be no space. There seems to be no space. Even Ada Goulet doesn't even seem to have a space at Real Madrid at the moment. So Florian Wirtz, I guess the best bet will be Bayern Munich, and apparently those guys know how to poach from the Bundesliga. I don't know his commitment with Bayern Leverkusen at the moment, but I think if Bayern Munich want to get him, they know how to get their guys from the Bundesliga. They certainly know how to.
They just pick.
They just pick.
It's like you're their training camp.
And it's just like fishing. Especially in a pond. You
are definitely coming.
Not in a pond, not in the sea.
Just
you are definitely going to get what.
Look at Lewandowski, Robert Lewandowski, just from Dortmund.
And so many
rivals
like that.
Main rivals. They just pick.
So it's just like buying pepper soup, point and kill.
That's how they pick.
Give me that one.
From so you don't want to pick him, they're going to pick him. All right, very quickly, still on the front page this morning. Chelsea have signed a player. I can't see the enthusiasm on social media from Chelsea fans. It looks like it wasn't what they wanted. You know, they have a new manager,
Enzo Maresca, who resumes today.
Yeah, resumes July 1. Of course, we all know what happens July 1 in football. It means people can, you know, be bought 10 years. Contracts expire July 1st. New contracts come on board July 4th. So July 1st is always a big deal in European football. Maresca has bought one of his boys from Leicester. And that's not the first time they are going that route. For Chelsea now, they've had good days with N'Golo Kante, and they've had bad days with Danny Drinkwater. What way is De Bruyne? Yeah, I think that's the pronunciation.
What he has to offer.
Yeah, where is he going? Fantastic player, no doubt about that. But can he cut it at a big club? Or some will ask, is Chelsea a big club?
That was the exact question I was going to ask. Let's just be very honest with ourselves. So I think he fits the bill for the kind of project that Chelsea have at the moment. So hopefully he becomes big with their project as well. You know, last season was not so bad for them. You know, it could have been bad, but eventually it turned out that last season was not so bad after all, because they will be playing in the European competition as well. So for the caliber of the project that Chelsea have at the moment, it looks like a player that fits the bill. Let's just hope that he gets bigger with their ambition. Even the manager himself, Enzo Maresca, he looks like a man that is coming to cut his teeth in the big jobs as well. So
and he can be pushed out anytime soon. It's a big job. He has to come to the party.
He has to come to the party. And from the Europa Conference League, they should be, I'm very sure by next season, they will be targeting returning to the Champions League.
All right, so talking about our front page, actually this last story we'll be taking from our front page this morning. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola never resting on his horse, trying to get Daniel Olmo and Joshua Kimmich for £91 million.
You know, before the end of work yesterday, after being almost done, then Daniel Olmo reminded everyone
I'm back
why they wanted him. And that was what we saw in that game. So, and for Joshua Kimmich, apparently he doesn't want to continue at Bayern Munich. For a Kai Walker that is trying to leave, Kimmich seems to be
the natural replacement.
A natural replacement
Experience,
for him on that right hand side. And they even need reinforcement in the midfield. They can even push him there if they have a better right back than Kai Walker to replace him at the moment. So looks like a good bargain. Just like Bayern Munich, City know how to get their players as well.
Do.
But usually, I don't see them doing much business this transfer window, because you know, before
it's a full house.
We'll have heard before the end of the season that they are scouting their
getting so person.
Before they brought Haaland, we already knew they were going for him. So, and
same for Grealish.
So, and the same for Grealish.
Kimmich
and Olmo don't look like marquee signings that they really want to ring. They are only in the news because they probably don't want to play where they are playing at the moment. They don't want to continue there. So maybe let's just see. Can they come to us? That is just...
And I think these are plug and play players. You know, you just put them in and you know they plug and they can play instantly. Yeah, no education, no whatever.
No orientation.
These are guys that understand what it means.
Nothing is required.
All right, away from Punch Sports Extra front page, if you want more stories, of course, you can go meet your vendors out there, grab your copies, and have a fantastic read. Very quickly, let's talk about the Euros. Interesting games yesterday. Scares all over. Slovakia against England. Slovakia was practically going home with the win, going home with the victory, going to the next round, up until Jude Bellingham decided to do what Jude Bellingham does. He's the king of 9-minute goals so far this year, 2024. You think it's over, but Jude Bellingham says no. And with that, spectacular.
Yeah, you know, the fashion, the style, I mean, how he scored that goal just overshadowed every other.
The fact that it was almost useless for 94 minutes.
Because even before the goal, I was wondering, what is Jude Bellingham
doing
on the field?
I was arguing in the WhatsApp group, because guys were busy posting, remove Bellingham, take out Kane, remove Bellingham. As I scored that goal, I said, managers on this group would have removed Jude Bellingham.
Apparently, if I was them, if I was Southgate, I would have done this. In fact, if I was Southgate, as at halftime, as at the beginning of the second, 3 players would not come back onto the pitch. I would just tell them to remain in the dressing room. Don't even come to the dugout. And Jude Bellingham was one of them. But look at how he responded in 9 minutes. So, you know, you just have to. On the other hand, you have to feel sorry for Slovakia. What shall it profit you? I think they capitulated because they stopped playing. Look at their fluid in the opening 20 minutes of the game. Attacked England with all intensity, created like 3 chances before getting their goal. I think if you had done that in the first half and you went into the break with a 1-goal lead, when you come back in the second half and you even see that your opponent has not made any change, you are just supposed to start the way you started.
From the same way you ended the first half.
Start from the same way you started the first half. Try to get another goal before thinking of sitting back and relax. Only for them to capitulate 2 minutes.
96 minutes extra time. 94th minute
before the end of stoppage time. So it's crazy. And the moment they restarted the second half, Harry Kane also just showed up.
Just like that.
And it shows you one thing. I mean, how England scored the second goal, how they can be on dead balls, in dead ball situations. You know, that ball was almost cleared, but it was relaunched into the area with a flick or something. Then Kane just ran into the space and finished it off into the net. So you just have to be careful.
Now, WhatsApp managers would have removed Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. England fans have been screaming, do this, do that at Southgate. Unfortunately for them, the statistics favor Southgate because in his years, this is the highest number of time that they keep moving from one round to the other without getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So for all the negative football, so attacks that they keep piling on Gary Southgate, he has the stats. Took them to the finals of the Euros in 2021, but Euro 2020
semi-finals of the World Cup before then. Yeah.
Now he's on the path to the finals because if you look at the teams they are going to be playing, they are playing. Where are they playing next? Switzerland next. A great team, but England can tear them down if they want to. And somehow you may criticize him all you want. He's pushing on.
I think since 2018, when I've started watching England under him, I think the 2 games that I've really seen that they had good performances against Panama at the 2018 World Cup, it was a stream roll for them. The final of the Euro 2020, it was sad that they lost that game. They played well.
Yeah.
But aside from those 2, I don't remember any beautiful game that I've seen.
Beauty is what got Nigeria into this position. We had a manager before now
who knows
AFCON.
Who knows how to get the job.
Who knew, okay, I will cook it at the back, up front, let Victor and Ademola be running around. Look at where we are because we are looking for formation. We had our former manager with Benin Republic now. What's his name again? General will not win more than 1-0.
And he qualifies with like 2 games to spare.
Look at us. Now, England fans are shouting. They've gotten semi-finals of the World Cup. They've gotten to the finals and barely lost. And then now they are still looking for flair.
They have to look for the flair because they have guys who are superstars all round where they play. And it looks like the world revolves around that English national team. I can't imagine that a player like Bukayo Saka comes to a European Championship and there's no explosion around him as we see. Even Cole Palmer, the best player of Chelsea, comes in. Sometimes he doesn't even prove those who want him to be subbed in. He doesn't prove them right eventually.
He's just there.
But all they say, they're just pushing. It looks like Southgate himself has even been experimenting throughout from the start of this tournament.
But he still trusts certain boys,
Well, if I was him, the last set of players, their last game which ended goalless in the group stage, the last set of players that he brought in looked to have ticked. If that game was starting at that point,
bring on Mino. Look at Mino yesterday.
He didn't appear until he appeared in that game too. He didn't show up until he appeared in that game at all. So it looks like an experiment just all over. And for him, I think Southgate knows that he's at the tail end. I'm sure he's stepping out of the road as soon as they leave.
The pressure is getting to him.
It's getting to him. And as much as the English media can hype their players, they know how to give them the stakes as well. They do.
All right, La Furia Roja. The current highest goal scorer in this tournament, joint current highest goal scorer, is a player that plays for a country called Georgia. Yes, Georgia, Tbilisi. That's the capital. And Georgia, an average football fan is thinking Georgia against Spain. Georgia.
They scored first.
But they scored first yesterday, and somebody was saying, "What's happening today? What's going on? Football is, But Spain came up to the party before you could say Jack Robinson. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the only thing I just said was that as at 1-0, I was like, another upset. When I saw 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, I was like, that's how you beat. That's how you beat it.
Let them know
that you are supposed to beat. So it doesn't matter if they scored first. It doesn't matter if they did this first. They will just show their